Hello, I'm Jeremy Wells. Today in ACC Investigates, we look into the defining moment of cricket's bitter trans-Tasman rivalry. This is a history of hate.
On right through him, clean bowl.
It is undoubtedly the most infamous chapter in the history of trans-Tasman relations. But what if we told you the underarm incident never happened? Recently unearthed evidence suggests the notorious underarm was in fact the centrepiece of a grand conspiracy dreamt up by the Muldoon government.
Let's make sure it is an underarm, but I've got the feeling we're going to buy an underarm. We haven't believed it. And that's a disappointing finish.
Well, what you and I know as a terrible act of poor sportsmanship and downright cheating at the MCG was actually a carefully staged hoax that was filmed on a purpose-built soundstage, a custom-built set, at the Bayview Oval in Mount Maunganui.
Rod Marsh is saying no, mate, but I'm sure he's going to bowl an underarm delivery.
Unsuspecting viewers believed they were watching live pictures from the MCG.
The umpires have been told, the batsmen have been told, and this is possibly a little bit disappointing.
In fact, the men on the screen were not cricketers but actors in a carefully choreographed scene. The underarm simply never happened.
I was there that day. I was actually on makeup.
For the first time ever, a whistleblower has agreed to give his account.
There were a lot of actors. I had to do the players, the umpires, and they had it all down pat, right down to the exact shade of beige on the Kiwi uniform. It was a closed set, Bay Oval. They actually blindfolded me, evacuated the area. I mean, the security was unbelievable. But I knew what was going on. I knew something was up.
And now, for the first time ever, the Alternative Commentary Collective can reveal the exact moment the live broadcast from Australia was interrupted.
Let's make sure it is an underarm, but I've got the feeling we're going to an underarm. We haven't believed it.
Let's have a look at that again. Note the telltale test pattern. From this point on, the live footage is replaced with a pre-recorded video feed from Tauranga. None of what you are watching ever took place. Thanks to whistleblowers' accounts, including that of Sir Peter Jackson, then a young camera assist working on the elaborate stunt, we now know this outlandish plot was conceived at the highest levels of the New Zealand government.
The underarm hoax was Muldoon's own initiative. He wanted to create an international incident and then leverage the fallout from that in trade talks for closer economic relations. And it turned out to be a masterstroke.
Yeah, well, I was at Parliament at that time and I remember it vividly. Muldoon had all these overseas PR experts just flooding into the beehive. They were everywhere, and actually Nixon's PR guy was running the whole show. And he was actually the man that came up with the great Muldoon line.
And I thought it was most appropriate that the Australian team was dressed in yellow.
There are many who hold this conspiracy to be the only true explanation for what happened that day in 1981. Known as underarmers, they see the underarm incident as the greatest trans-Tasman PR swindle ever, perhaps only eclipsed by the clever faking of Cathy Freeman's victory in the 400 metres at the Sydney Olympics, conceived to make Australia seem less racist.
Look, the underarm incident was a conspiracy. It was incredibly ballsy, but it was brilliantly executed.
An underarm. We haven't believed it.
If it wasn't for the technical breakthrough from faking the underarm ball incident, you probably wouldn't have such classics today as Shortland Street, One News, 3 News. Real Kiwi classics wouldn't have been possible purely because of that technical breakthrough.
We haven't believed it.
On right through him, clean bowl.
Fascinating stuff. Well, that concludes our History of Hate series. We hope you've enjoyed it. Join us next time when the ACC investigates the seminal and seminal history of ball tampering. We'll see you then.